Hello everyone, I'm Joe Wiz, and welcome to the latest edition of The Fine Line. Today's show is brought to you by NielsenDodge.com. Whether you have no credit or poor credit, it doesn't matter. As long as you have a driver's license, you can be driving home in a pre-owned vehicle or a brand new car. Just go to NielsenDodge.com. And today's show is brought to you by CheerleadersPhiladelphia.com. That's CheerleadersPhiladelphia.com. Good to have you along for another big weekend of winners with this special edition of the Fine Line podcast. Wow, where do we start? The second half of the Major League Baseball season is here. And where do we start? Boy, we got the Yankees starting out with the Tampa Rays, a crucial 4-game series before the Subway Series picks up in the Bronx. Meanwhile, the New York Mets have a great opportunity to take advantage of things and get going fast as they take on the reeling Miami Marlins. So, besides baseball, what else is going on for this weekend? Well, there's a ton of action going on. We got MLS action, 14 games on the board. Everyone is in action, including the Red Bulls taking on Cincinnati, which will be a big game. We'll talk about that, and we'll talk about NYCFC in action as well, going up against Orlando. We got horse racing. Hey, did someone say horse racing? That's my favorite sport. Of course, we got the big $1 million race from Monmouth Racetrack. I will be at Monmouth for the $1 million Haskell Invitational. And the Haskell Invitational really isn't it's a little bit of a disappointing field this year, but the undercard of the Haskell is tremendous. You got the Monmouth Cup, which is $400,000 on the line. That's race number 10. You got race number 11, the United Nations, $600,000 on the line, and then race 12, which goes off at 5:45. $1 million will be on the line for the Haskell Invitational, a mile and an eighth. It's a field of 8, but I think it's going to be a field of 7 because the 5-horse Fierceness is not expected to run. So the favorite in this race will go off at probably 2-1. And the favorite in the race will be Mind Frame, the 7-horse, with Arad Ortiz and Todd Pletcher. But don't count out Dornoch, the number 1 horse, the second choice, with Luis Sayas and trainer Gargan. It's going to be an interesting race because you do have some good races here. If you're looking for a long shot in the Monmouth Haskell Invitational, the 4-horse with Timberlake, Flavian Pratt, and Brad Cox going off at 8-1. I'll have my official picks on the Monmouth Haskell Invitational a little bit later in the show. I'll also talk about Saratoga, race 11, the Coaching Club American Oaks, $500,000 on the line. But this race might not be that exciting. It's only a field of 5, and the 3-horse Torpedo Anna. It goes off at 1-2. Can anybody upset Torpedo Anna? It's going to be tough. I'll talk about that as well. We got golf action, a Barracuda Championship from Truckee, California at the Tahoe Mountain Club. We'll talk about that, as well as the Open Championship, $16.5 million on the line from the Royal Troon Club in Troon, Scotland. So, today I have 2 major plays in baseball, and I found a big bomb in soccer. I got 1 play in the American League, 1 play in the National League, and I got a major dog in soccer. And those of you that follow me on Instagram and Twitter, on my Twitter feed on Wednesday, I gave out the Houston Dynamo. Now, granted, they weren't a big dog. They were plus 140, and they were on the road. I normally don't like playing road favorites, but they were playing the San Jose Earthquakes, and the Earthquakes are the worst team in the MLS. I had to sweat it out, but I got a good return. I got the Houston Dynamo plus the 140, and we got a win there. I found a situation today in the MLS where it's a big bomb. You're going to get a good ROI, and that's what we talk about here on the show all the time, return on investment. I got 1 play in the American League, 1 play in the National League. Hit me up. You can call or text 201-906-3853. Use your free VIP code 505. Now, those of you who don't like to call or text, you can also follow me on Instagram at Joe Wiz Sports. We put out free picks every day, 7 days a week on Instagram and Twitter. Most people like Instagram better. I do as well. And you follow me on Instagram to get a free winner. Go on Instagram right now. You follow me. You get free picks for the rest of your life. Every day you wake up, you're going to get a free pick from me. Just go to Instagram. It's free. And if you prefer Twitter, you can do it as well on Twitter. Joe Wiz Sports. And you can also get a free copy of my tip sheet at Joe Wiz Sports. That's JoeWiz Sports. You can hit me up go to the website and hit me up there, and you can get the copy of my tip sheet as well. So there's plenty of opportunities to make money as we steamroll into football season. Would you believe the NFL season is just about 14 days away? That's right. On August 1st, the first game, it's a preseason game, so I'm not too excited, but there's still opportunities to make money when the Chicago Bears take on the Houston Texans. Once preseason starts, you know we're ready to roll. And I know people have been jonesing all week in the last month asking about football, and last year had a great college football season, had an average NFL season here. I always tell people I like college better because there's more games to choose from, and I feel you have an advantage in college sports, whether it's college football or college basketball. We've been doing good in baseball as well. So hit me up on Instagram or Twitter and send me a DM, and I'll get you a free winner, Joe Wiz Sports. A little bit later, I'll tell you how you can qualify to win a free $1 million as well. But the NFL season, as I mentioned, the official start to me is preseason. I know a lot of people don't like playing exhibition, but listen, there is some good information during preseason, unlike the regular season when you know who's playing and who's not playing. Preseason, certain teams play to win, certain teams just play to practice, and you know, I've had a very good track record during preseason, so I'm looking forward to the preseason. That's follow me on Instagram or Twitter, Joe Wiz Sports. And if you'd like to get my 3 big winners, I got 1 play in the American League, 1 play in the National League, and a big dog in soccer. And Euro Cup just finished, and you know, Spain several weeks ago, right here on the Fine Line, I gave out Spain to win the Euro Cup before it started at plus 800, and they won. They beat England. We made a nice score with Spain in Euro 2024. So we'll talk about soccer, the MLS, we'll talk about horse racing, NFL. We got you covered here on the Fine Line. Just stay tuned and be ready to win some big money. And right now, I want you to follow me on Instagram, Joe Wiz Sports, to get some free winners. We're going to take a quick break. We come back. I'm going to have some winners for you. Talk about the Yankees and Rays. We'll talk about the Mets and Marlins, Astros and Seattle, and more. It's all coming up right here on the Fine Line.
I'm Matt Brown with your MLB Flash Update. The second half of the MLB season opens with a bang as the Red Sox go cross-country to do battle with the Dodgers. Los Angeles comes into this series having lost 6 of their last 7, while Boston is on the opposite trajectory, winning 3 of their last 4. Despite the downswing, LA remains the favorite to win the World Series at plus 300, with the Bo Sox in the middle at plus 4,500. Can the Dodgers turn it around? Head over to Joe Wiz Sports on Instagram for the winner.
Robot, why do customers love Nielsen Dodge?
Low prices, great service. Lisa new 2024 Dodge Hornet RT Plus E all-wheel drive, just $89 a month.
And the robot never asked for a raise.
I don't want a raise.
See?
I want to run the whole show.
On Route 10 in East Hanover, or shop online at nielsendodge.com. It's the season.
With approval, term Hornet 24 months, due at sign, $40.89. Add tax tag and $4.98 dock and DMV fees.
This is The Wiz. Did you just text me? Well, you can. 201-906 3853. Let me know if you want a free winner in baseball, if you want a free winner in soccer, the WNBA, horse racing, I got you covered. 201-906-3853. Plain and simple. Text and win. Let me know if you want baseball, you want soccer, WNBA, horse racing, I got you covered. 201-906-3853.
Hey Mike, you hear about this sports handicapper Joe Wiz?
Isn't he the guy that has that sports betting show on ESPN? ESPN?
Yeah, I started following him on Twitter and he's been on fire. I don't even have to call anyone for the free pick.
Are you serious?
Yup, just follow him at Joe Wiz Sports on Twitter and his handle is the same on Instagram.
Didn't he make that big $20,000 bet or something I saw on the news?
Yeah, I think the video is on his website, joewizsports.com.
I'm gonna follow him now. What's his Twitter again?
It's at Joe Wiz Sports.
Wow, I just followed him. He's the real deal, all right. He's on ESPN with thousands of followers.
You can call or text him to get a free winner instantly. Here's his number, 201-906-3853.
What's the number?
Oh my God, 201-906-3853.
I went to joewizsports.com and got a free copy of his tip sheet. Tons of free winners.
You owe me, dude. I hooked you up with one of the biggest names in sports betting. You know what they say, nobody beats the Wiz.
Bing bang!
Cheerleaders Philadelphia is your fight night headquarters. Head to Cheerleaders Saturday, July 20th to catch all the action of Jake Paul versus Mike Perry. Paul will face former UFC fighter and current bare knuckle star Mike Perry. That's Paul versus Perry, Saturday at Cheerleaders. Cheerleaders has the sexiest entertainers performing live on stage from noon until 2 a.m. With special overtime hours Friday and Saturday nights. Cheerleaders is open until 4 a.m. That's right, 4 a.m.
How would you like to get free baseball winners 7 days a week? Just follow and win on Instagram, Joe Wiz Sports. No hype, no pressure, nobody to talk to. Joe Wiz is one of the biggest names in sports betting. Just follow on Instagram, Joe Wiz Sports. That's JOEWIZ Sports. Free picks 7 days a week. Plain and simple. Follow and win on Instagram, Joe Wiz Sports. Or call direct 888-WIN-7000. That's 888-WIN-7000.
Welcome back to the Fine Line Podcast. I'm the Wiz, and thanks for tuning in for this special edition of the Fine Line Podcast. Behind the scenes, we got Jordan Hirsch, who does a great job. We got Matt. We got Katie, who helps out with the newsletter. She does a great job as well. That's the crew right here on the Fine Line. I'm going to get all their pictures and put them up on Instagram so you can see the fabulous crew that I work with. And they have a lot of patience putting up with the Wiz because I'm very demanding. But, you know, we want to get you the best information. We want to give you the best winners. Speaking of winners, the Powerball drawing. Hey, if you'd like to win a free $1 million, hit me up on Instagram or Twitter. I know everyone's going to do it. I know Matt, I know Katie and Jordan. They follow me on Instagram all the time and they hit me up because they want to get that free $1 million so this way they don't have to pay the rest of their tuition. But in the meantime, if you'd like to get a free $1 million, hit me up on Instagram or Twitter. What happens is once you follow me, you send me a DM, right? We send you a check mark. It's a better check mark than Elon Musk. We love you, Elon, but sorry, the Wiz is in charge today, and it's definitely better than Zuckerberg. I'm not sure what we think about Mr. Zuckerberg. We have mixed feelings about him, but be that as it may, they got a lot more money than I do, but I'm willing to share it. So if I hit the Powerball drawing for Saturday, you get $1 million cash. All you have to do is show that check mark at the window. Now, if I hit 5 out of 6, you're not getting $1 million. Let's face it, I got to win all 6 numbers. And I've had 5 out of 6 twice in my lifetime, so I almost feel like it's destined to get that 6 out of 6 and make millions of dollars and share it with everybody. If I win the Powerball drawing, hey, I'm giving it out to the veterans, I'm giving it out to the animal shelters, the homeless people, and you get $1 million. Hit me up on Instagram or Twitter, Joe Wiz Sports. The minute you do that, you have to follow. We send you a DM, and that gets you a check mark, which means you qualify to get $1 million cash. Not only that, you're going to get my big 3-teamer today. I'm not actually advertising it as a 3-teamer, but I have 1 big play in the American League, 1 big play in the National League, and I have a major play in soccer. And I know some people don't like soccer, but hey, it's all about ROI, return on investment, right? We're here to make money. So whether you make money in the WNBA, I know they're off for the next 2 weeks, but how about Caitlin Clark? We'll talk about her a little bit later in the show. But, whether it's soccer, whether it's the baseball action, I got you covered, okay? Now today, I got one big play in the American League, one big play in the National League, and I got a big soccer dog. Hit me up. You can call or text 201-906-3853. I know no one's going to call, so just send me a text. Use your free code 505. I'll send you the winners. And if you'd rather send me a DM on Instagram or Twitter, Joe Wiz Sports, plain and simple. And if you'd like to get a free copy of my tip sheet, just go to my website, JoeWizSports.com. You'll see I made the biggest legal bet ever in the state of New Jersey, right on my website, JoeWizSports.com. So here we are. We're at the second half of the Major League Baseball season. And which series intrigues you the most? There's I couldn't figure it out. I know everyone's interested in Tampa and the Yanks. You got the Astros and Seattle, big series this weekend. Boston at the Dodgers. The Dodgers, I still am confused on why the Dodgers are favored to win the World Series. Right now, the updated odds, the Dodgers are plus 300, Philadelphia is plus 450, Yanks are plus 550, Baltimore's plus 650. Can you tell me why the Dodgers are favored over the Phillies to win the World Series? And could you tell me why the Yankees are ahead of Baltimore? Let's face it, I know the Yanks just took, 2 out of 3 from Baltimore? But we all know the Orioles are better than the Yankees. Let's not fool each other, right? Meanwhile, Atlanta is plus 800, Astros are plus 1,600. So, the series this weekend that are really compelling to me are the matchups between Tampa and the Yankees. That's a 4-game series. You got Cole on Friday, Cortez, Stroman, Rodon. Which pitcher of those 4 scare you? None of them. Rodon's pitching on Monday. What are we going to get from Carlos Rodon? He is unbelievably terrible right now. 9-7 with a 4.63 ERA, but that is misleading. Meanwhile, Tampa, none of their pitchers have great records, but Tampa is right there. They're hanging around, at the 500 mark at the All-Star break. 48 wins, 48 losses, 27 wins, 27 losses at home, 21 wins and 21 losses. But I think Tampa is going to give the Yanks a rough. I wouldn't be surprised if they split this series. Tampa got Eflin on Friday, Bradley on Saturday, Boz on Sunday, and Littell. I'm not going with Rodon on Monday, that's what I'm sure. Even though Littell is 3-6 with a 4.26 on Monday, I like Tampa. Meanwhile, the Astros taking on Seattle. You got Hunter Brown, you got Valdez, and Blanco. Blanco gets the edge on Sunday over Wu, who's coming off the injured list. He just came off the list, pitched 1 game. Dodgers and Red Sox, interesting series here. You got Pivetta, Crawford. You got on the Dodgers side. You don't know what you're going to get with the Dodgers. They are so banged up, the Dodgers. The Dodgers, Mookie Betts and Clayton Kershaw and Yoshinobu Yamamoto, they're all banged up. I mean, the Dodgers are not the team that should be favored to win the World Series right now. You got the St. Louis Cardinals taking on the Atlanta Braves. I'm not sure what to think of St. Louis. Right now, St. Louis at the All-Star break was just 4.5 games behind the Milwaukee Brewers. And this Central is very interesting because you got Milwaukee, but Milwaukee doesn't scare me. You got St. Louis, you got Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. I mean, it's possible that, I have to be candid and transparent. I picked the Cubs at the beginning of the season. Hey, I don't lie. I tell people how it is. I didn't pick, I picked the Cubs to win it, and that's not going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen. Right now, they're 8.5 games behind, but only 3.5 behind in a wild card. And you take a look at it, you got St. Louis and Atlanta Braves have been decimated with injuries like a lot of other teams here, but nobody is talking about the Philadelphia Phillies, and the Philadelphia Phillies are the best team in baseball. Despite significant injuries, the Phillies own the best record in the sport. Right now, the Phillies at the All-Star break are at 62-34. They have an 8.5 game lead over the Atlanta Braves. Nobody is catching the Philadelphia Phillies. And right now, I'm going to go on record and tell you the Philadelphia Phillies are going to win the World Series. And they're going to face the Baltimore Orioles. So Philly fans and Oriole fans will be very excited because they're not going to have to travel far from Philly down to Baltimore. You can make that trip down I-95 in probably less than 2 hours. I know Jordan Hirsch, our producer, is going to be traveling back and forth. He's a diehard Phillies fan here, and I know that Katie's a diehard Phillies fan. Matt in the studio is a big Yankees fan here, and me, I just root for whoever makes me money. So I make it easy for everybody here. So we got some great action going going on this weekend, whether you want to talk about the Red Sox and Dodgers, you got the Astros and Seattle. Wow. Even Baltimore and Texas. Can Texas turn it around? The defending World Series champions, can they turn it around? Hey, you never know. Jacob deGrom gets healthy, you never know, right? It's unlikely, though. I wouldn't count them, I wouldn't say they're completely dead, but right now Texas is Texas has a better chance of winning the West than they do in the wild cards. Right now, the wild cards is 7.5 games out going into the All-Star, but it's just 5 games out, just 4 games out in the loss column with Seattle and Houston in a dead heat in losses, 46 losses both. Meanwhile, Texas has 50 losses. I'm super excited for the second half of the season. Today, I got one big play in the American League, one big play in the National League. Call or text 201-906-3853. Just use your free code 505. It's that simple. And I got a big play in soccer, the biggest play I've had this year in the MLS. I'm going to have it for you. I had the Houston Dynamo on Wednesday night when they beat the San Jose Earthquakes. I had Spain in the Euro. We've been crushing it in soccer. We're making some big money. So I'll talk about that more a little bit later in the show. Hit me up on Instagram or Twitter. Send me a DM, and you qualify to win a free $1 million at Joe Wiz Sports. And don't ask how to spell Wiz. I've been telling you for 10 years already, Joewiz. It's not Wiz. It's not Wizz. Joe Wiz Sports. Hit me up on Instagram and Twitter to get a free copy of my tip sheet. Just go to my website, joewizsports.com. Down the stretch they come, $1 million on the line. Who is it going to be? The favorite mind frame. Dornoch beat him in the Belmont Stakes. Revenge is interesting factor. We'll talk about it right after this.
I'm Jordan Hirsch with your MLB Flash Update. The top 2 teams in the American League West will face off this weekend when the Astros take on the Mariners. Seattle has taken 5 of the first 7 meetings with Houston this season and enter the series a game up in the division. Despite this, it's the Stros who currently sit as the favorites to win the AL West at -118, with the M's right on their heels at +110. Who will be in first place when this series concludes? Head over to Joe Wiz Sports on Instagram to find out.
Cheerleaders Philadelphia is your fight night headquarters. Head to Cheerleaders Saturday, July 20th to catch all the action of Jake Paul versus Mike Perry. Paul will face former UFC fighter and current bare knuckle star Mike Perry. That's Paul versus Perry Saturday at Cheerleaders. Cheerleaders has the sexiest entertainers performing live on stage from noon until 2 a.m. With special overtime hours Friday and Saturday nights. Cheerleaders is open until 4 a.m. That's right, 4 a.m.
This is The Wiz. Did you just text me? Well, you can. 201-906-3853. Let me know if you want a free winner in baseball, if you want a free winner in soccer, the WNBA, horse racing, I got you covered. 201-906-3853. Plain and simple. Text and win. Let me know if you want baseball, you want soccer, WNBA, horse racing, I got you covered. 201-906-3853.
Hey Mike, you hear about this sports handicapper Joe Wiz?
Isn't he the guy that has that sports betting show on ESPN?
Yeah, I started following him on Twitter and he's been on fire. I don't even have to call anyone for the free pick.
Are you serious?
Yup, just follow him at Joe Wiz Sports on Twitter and his handle is the same on Instagram.
Didn't he make that big $20,000 bet or something I saw on the news?
Yeah, I think the video is on his website, joewizsports.com.
I'm gonna follow him now. What's his Twitter again?
It's at Joe Wiz Sports.
Wow, I just followed him. He's the real deal, all right. He's on ESPN with thousands of followers.
You can call or text him to get a free winner instantly. Here's his number, 201-906-3853.
What's the number?
Oh my God, 201-906-3853.
I went to joewizsports.com and got a free copy of his tip sheet. Tons of free winners.
You owe me, dude. I hooked you up with one of the biggest names in sports betting. You know what they say, nobody beats the Wiz.
Bing bong.
Robot, why do customers love Nielsen Dodge?
Low prices, great service. Lease a new 2024 Dodge Hornet RT Plus E all-wheel drive, just $89 a month.
And the robot never asked for a raise.
I don't want a raise.
See?
I want to run the whole show.
On Route 10 in East Hanover, or shop online at nielsendodge.com. It's the season.
With approval, term Hornet 24 months, due at sign, $40.89. Add tax tag and $4.98 dock and DMV fees.
How would you like to get free baseball winners 7 days a week? Just follow and win on Instagram, Joe Wiz Sports. No hype, no pressure, nobody to talk to. Joe Wiz is one of the biggest names in sports betting. Just follow on Instagram, Joe Wiz Sports. That's JOEWIZ Sports. Free picks 7 days a week. Plain and simple. Follow and win on Instagram, Joe Wiz Sports. Or call direct 888-WIN-7000. That's 888-WIN-7000.
You are listening to The Fine Line. I'm The Wiz, and thanks for tuning in for this special edition of The Fine Line Podcast. We thank our sponsors, cheerleadersphiladelphia.com. If you're in the Philadelphia area, check out their website and go to cheerleadersphiladelphia.com for the best entertainment in the country. And also nielsendodge.com. Whether you have no credit or poor credit, it doesn't matter. You go to nielsendodge.com. As long as you have a driver's license, you'll be driving home in a pre-owned or brand new vehicle in a whiz moment. Go to nielsendodge.com, the official sponsor of The Fine Line. And if you'd like to sponsor us here on The Fine Line, we certainly could use the business. Hit us up on Instagram or Twitter, or you can text or call as well. We love to hear from you. You know, we talked a little bit about the baseball season, the second half of the season. Very interesting because, you know, right now the Baltimore Orioles and the Yankees are pretty much, you know, in a dead heat for the, first place in the East. I picked Baltimore, and I'm going to stick to my guns in the East. In the Central, I do believe it's going to be the Cleveland Guardians, although the Twins are hanging around. Out West, what's going to happen? Seattle, Houston, Texas. Texas is still alive. They're 4 games under 500, yet they're hanging in there. But all said and done, I'm going with the Houston Astros with Framer Valdez, Blanco, and Brown to win the West. In the East, the Philadelphia Phillies, my choice to win the World Series. I made a revision because back in the early part of the season, I picked the Braves. But hey, everyone's allowed to make a change, right? So Philadelphia Phillies right now, I'm not sure why the books have taken so long to make the adjustment. They still have the Dodgers, the favorites, but the Phillies at plus 450 are pretty good ROI. You know what that is, right? Return on investment. Out in the Central, we got the Milwaukee Brewers, St. Louis Cards. You know, you could toss it up here. I know Milwaukee has a 4.5 game lead, but anything is possible out there. I picked the Cubs to win the Central at the beginning of the season. I'm not going to stick with the Cubs. I think that I'm going to go with the Cardinals to get hot and overtake the Brewers. And that's a pretty bold statement. And out West, you know, the Dodgers are all banged up. We talked about them, and, you know, they're Mookie Betts and Clayton Kershaw and a ton of other injuries that they have going on. But you know, the Padres just can't be trusted. Dodgers are going to win the West, but that's as far as it goes. Remember, they got knocked out by Arizona last year. Today, I have one big play in the American League, one big play in the National League, and I have a major play in soccer. And if you give me a call, 201-906-3853, just mention your free code, 505. I'll give you both baseball winners and a big dog in soccer. Or you can text the same number, 201-906-3853. Or follow me on Instagram or Twitter. Hit me up on a DM and use that code 505, Joe Wiz Sports. I have thousands and thousands of followers on Instagram. Same thing with Twitter. And you can go to my website, joewizsports.com, get a free copy of the tip sheet. Katie does a great job with the tip sheet. She's helping us out there. Matt filled in a little bit last week. We got Jordan behind the scenes as well. In charge of everything behind the scenes, doing a great job. Jordan has a very bright future, so does Matt and Katie. I always joke around these college kids. One day you guys are going to become CEOs of one of these big companies, and you're going to hire me as the leading sports betting analyst in the world, right? So we'll see what happens there. NFL action, as I mentioned, on August 1st, the Hall of Fame game goes off between the Chicago Bears and the Houston Texans. I'm super excited about that as well. I know everybody wants free winners, and I do like the Atlanta Braves against Gibson on Saturday. I do like the Braves against Gibson. And with baseball, remember, you have options when you're betting baseball. You can have a listed pitcher, you can bet action, and you can bet F5. There's a lot of other options, but those are the three most frequent bets. Listed pitcher means, like, if you're betting a pitcher, for instance, St. Louis has Gibson pitching, I'm betting against him. So whoever Atlanta goes with, as long as Gibson pitches, I can list Gibson and put action in for Atlanta. And as long as Gibson pitches, regardless of who Atlanta has, the bet would be in progress, and it would be an official bet. If for some reason Gibson doesn't pitch on Saturday, then the bet is voided and you get your money back. So whenever you're betting baseball, pitching is obviously the most important criteria. So if you want to list a pitcher, you can list a pitcher, and if he doesn't go, then you get your money back. Or you can just go action. Whatever happens, happens, and it's a free-for-all, and you win or lose, and that's what happens. F5 is the first 5 innings. If you have a team that has very solid pitcher, first 5 innings, but he's on a pitch count or may not go, and everybody's on a pitch count these days, so then you can bet the first 5 innings. That's what you can do with baseball. With soccer, same thing with soccer, not same thing, but soccer, pay attention to the Asian handicap line. Soccer, if you're betting at some of the sports books, and a lot of ties and a lot of draws, whichever way you want to call it, if they're 1-1 or 0-0 or 0-0, whichever you want to refer to it in soccer, you don't want to, in regulation, a lot of sports books, if you're tied or you have a draw, you have a loss. And that's not the way it should be. A loss, if you bet the Asian handicap line, if it's 1-1 or 0-0 or 2-2, you get your money back. So whenever you're betting soccer, you must get the Asian handicap line, or don't bet. Simple as that. I don't recommend betting soccer unless you get the Asian handicap line, because if a game lands on a tie, you don't want to have it as a loss. And that's what some of the sports books do to you. And listen, the sports books aren't your friends. They give you all these bonuses, but they're there to make money. And some of these big sports books are making millions and millions of dollars, because most people out there don't know how to bet. They don't know about money management. They're all enamored with winning percentages. And the reality of it is, you can hit 50% and still make money in this business. But realistically, if you can hit 60% or higher, you are considered a very good handicapper in this business. People want to hit 80%. It's not a realistic number. But the analogy I can give to you, which I talk about often on the show, you can hit 2 games for 100 each, or lose both games. Say you bet 2 games for 100 each, they both lose. Without the juice, you lost 2 beans, right? Say you bet 2 games for a nickel each, which is 500 in gambling terminology. You make a dime. A dime is 1,000. So you lost 200 with 2 games, and you won 1,000 with 2 games. So your winning percentage is 50%. You're 2-2, but you made an $800 profit. You get my drift? It's all about money management. Don't let anybody tell you about winning percentages. I hit 80%, and betting parlays and teasers and round robins. Those are high-risk bets. I tell people, when you start out, go straight bets, because that's your best chance of winning. Betting 1 game at a time. The more games you bet, the less likely you are to win. And people like the 3-teamers because, I go to 3-teamer, I get 6-1 odds. I bet a 4-teamer, I get 10-1 odds. But then you hear the story, that one team screwed me. There's always one team that screws you. You always hear about it all the time, right? Well, the best way of doing it is if you bet 1 game at a time. Without my advice or intuition, whether you bet on your own, you have a 50-50 chance of winning. But when you add my intuition, my information, my stuff that I've been doing for over 20 years, your odds go up to maybe 65%, maybe as high as 70%. I don't want to mislead you and tell you I hit 90%, 75%. I'd love to say hit 70% overall, but I can say I'm hitting 63% right now in baseball, and I'm happy with that. If you can live with that winning percentage, we should do business. Hit me up on Instagram or Twitter. Follow me, send me a DM. You qualify to win a free $1 million. Joe Wiz Sports. I'll send you 1 big winner in the American League, 1 big winner internationally. Let me show you how to make money as we get ready for football. And I know everybody's excited about the NFL season and getting ready for the Jets and the Giants. And if you want the updated odds in the NFL, well, Kansas City, what else can you say? They're plus 600. San Francisco's plus 650. Baltimore's plus 950. The Lions are plus 1,300. If you're wondering about the Jets, Well, they're plus 2,200, and they're going to lose first week in San Francisco. The Giants, they are all the way at the bottom of the barrel. They are tied with New England and Tennessee. The Titans, Patriots, and Giants are plus 15,000 to win the Super Bowl. We know they're not going to get to the Super Bowl, but those odds are staggering. The only team that has worse odds than the Giants, Tennessee, and the Patriots are the Carolina Panthers at plus 20,000. Hey, it's great to be talking about football, but there's plenty of baseball action, soccer action, horse racing action. We're going to have some winners for you from Monmouth, Saratoga, and I'm going to talk about the Red Bulls and NYCFC coming up right after this.
I'm Jordan Hirsch with your MLS Flash Update. Two of the best teams in the Eastern Conference match up on Saturday when FC Cincinnati goes against the Red Bulls. New York is riding a 7-game unbeaten streak and are set as a pick'em in this one at plus 100. On the other side, Cincy comes in just 2 points back of first, but are modest underdogs at plus 245. As for the goal total, over 2.5 is favored at minus 148. Will the Red Bulls stay hot? Get the winner of this match on Instagram at Joe Wiz Sports.
Robot, why do customers love Nielsen Dodge?
Low prices, great service. Lisa new 2024 Dodge Hornet RT Plus E all-wheel drive, just $89 a month.
And the robot never asked for a raise.
I don't want a raise.
See?
I want to run the whole show.
On Route 10 in East Hanover, or shop online at nielsendodge.com. It's the season.
With approval, term Hornet 24 months, due at sign, $40.89. Add tax tag and $4.98 dock and DMV fees.
This is The Wiz. Did you just text me? Well, you can. 201-906-3853. Let me know if you want a free winner in baseball, if you want a free winner in soccer, the WNBA, horse racing, I got you covered. 201-906-3853. Plain and simple. Text and win. Let me know if you want baseball, you want soccer, WNBA, horse racing, I got you covered. 201-906-3853.
Hey Mike, you hear about this sports handicapper Joe Wiz?
Isn't he the guy that has that sports betting show on ESPN?
Yeah, I started following him on Twitter and he's been on fire. I don't even have to call anyone for the free pick.
Are you serious?
Yup, just follow him at Joe Wiz Sports on Twitter and his handle is the same on Instagram.
Didn't he make that big $20,000 bet or something I saw on the news?
Yeah, I think the video is on his website, joewizsports.com.
I'm gonna follow him now. What's his Twitter again?
It's at Joe Wiz Sports.
Wow, I just followed him. He's the real deal, all right. He's on ESPN with thousands of followers.
You can call or text him to get a free winner instantly. Here's his number, 201-906-3853.
What's the number?
Oh my God, 201-906-3853.
I went to joewizsports.com and got a free copy of his tip sheet. Tons of free winners.
You owe me, dude. I hooked you up with one of the biggest names in sports betting. You know what they say, nobody beats the Wiz.
Bing bang! Cheerleaders Philadelphia is your fight night headquarters. Head to Cheerleaders Saturday, July 20th to catch all the action of Jake Paul versus Mike Perry. Paul will face former UFC fighter and current bare knuckle star Mike Perry. That's Paul versus Perry Saturday at Cheerleaders. Cheerleaders has the sexiest entertainers performing live on stage from noon until 2 a.m. With special overtime hours Friday and Saturday nights. Cheerleaders is open until 4 a.m. That's right, 4 a.m.
How would you like to get free baseball winners 7 days a week? Just follow and win on Instagram, Joe Wiz Sports. No hype, no pressure, nobody to talk to. Joe Wiz is one of the biggest names in sports betting. Just follow on Instagram, Joe Wiz Sports. That's JOEWIZ Sports. Free picks 7 days a week. Plain and simple. Follow and win on Instagram, Joe Wiz Sports. Or call direct 888-WIN-7000. That's 888-WIN-7000.
You are listening to The Fine Line. I'm The Wiz. Thanks for tuning in for this special edition of The Fine Line podcast. Today's show has been brought to you by NielsenDodge.com. Whether you have no credit or poor credit, it doesn't matter. As long as you have a driver's license, you'll be going home in a pre-owned or a brand new vehicle. Visit NielsenDodge.com. And And today's show has been brought to you by cheerleadersphiladelphia.com. If you're in the Philadelphia area, look up Cheerleaders, one of the best entertainment places in the Philadelphia area. Go to cheerleadersphiladelphia.com for more information. We want to thank the behind-the-scene crew. We mentioned our producer, Jordan Hirsch, who does a great job, Katie and Matt. We're happy to bring you some winning information, and soon we'll be back on the airwaves in New York. In the meantime, we thank you for tuning in for this special edition of the Fine Line Podcast. Where do we start? There's so much action going on. Everybody wants winners in baseball. You know, we got Tampa and the Yankees, and we look at it here. You know, we'll look at the Yankees schedule here. The next 13 games are really tough. Yanks got 4 with the Rays, then they got 2 with the Mets in the Bronx. And personally, I think the Mets are better than the Yankees right now. Then they got to go to Fenway to take on the Red Sox, and the Red Sox are right there. How about the Boston Red Sox? Nobody gives them a chance, and all of a sudden the Boston Red Sox are tied in a wild card and just 2 games behind the Yankees in the loss column in the All-Star break. Oh my God, the Yankees are in trouble, and then the Yankees have to take on the Philadelphia Phillies. I know Jordan's going to be at Citizen Bank to see the Phillies destroy the Yankees, because I'm picking the Phillies to win the World Series. The next 13 games, Yankees might go 6-7. Whoa. Watch out, because the Red Sox could actually overtake the Yankees. Meanwhile, the New York Mets schedule is rather, they got 4 games with the Marlins, and the Mets should win all 4 games, but these baseball games are very tricky, and it's hard to sweep 4, but the Mets, they have some Manaea's pitching. You got Quintana. How about Severino? Would the Yankees like to have Luis Severino back? Is Christian Scott going to get his first win on Monday going up against Chirinos? Christian Scott's had some bad luck. He's 0-2 with a 4.36 ERA. After the Yanks, the Mets have the Braves, which is not going to be easy, but they'll have them at home. And then they'll take on the Twins, which is also interesting because the Twins are a good team. And then they go out to the Angels, out St. Louis. Both schedules are very tough. I think the Yankees have a tougher schedule the next couple of 13 games, but the Braves and Twins are also going to be a tough opposition. What's going to happen? We're going to look at this trade deadline on July 30th. Who makes the big trade? Yankees and Mets are both battling for certain players. Who is going to give up some players? It's going to be very, very interesting. The White Sox, the Marlins, the Nationals, A's, Angels, Tigers. Closer Mason Miller's available. You got Garrett Crochet, and you got Luis Roberts Jr. We got Flattery available. Marlins infielder, Jazz Chisholm. You got Tanner Scott. There's some good players out there that are available. What do the Yankees need most? Is it a pitcher? Is it a hitter? Or both? I think they need both. Yanks are in trouble. I don't think the Yankees are going far in the postseason. Sorry, Yankee fans. I think the Mets have a better future than the Mets do. And who knows if DeSoto's even going to be with the Yankees. We'll talk about that another time. Hit me up right now on Instagram or Twitter, Joe Wiz Sports. Get a free copy of my tip sheet. Go to my website, joewizsports.com. I have 1 big winner in the American League, 1 big winner in the National League, plus I have a big dog in soccer. Hit me up on Instagram or Twitter, Joe Wiz Sports. But the fastest way and the easiest way is to call me at 201-906-3853. If you can't call, text that same number, 201-906-3853. Use your free VIP code 505. It's that simple. I cannot make it any easier for you. Soccer action. We got the Red Bulls in action going up against Cincinnati. And Cincinnati is a really good team in the MLS right now. Cincinnati is in second place right behind Inter Miami. Cincinnati is 15-6. And meanwhile, the Red Bulls are at 9-4-10. But you take a look at it here. I like the Red Bulls because they very rarely lose at home. I do like the Red Bulls to knock off Cincinnati. NYCFC takes on Orlando. NYCFC is a nice dog at plus 240. We're going to take a shot with NYCFC plus the 240. It's not my big dog that I have in MLS, but this one isn't too far off at plus 240. Return on investment. That's what it's all about. ROI. And the big horse races I mentioned in Saratoga. It's going to be tough to to beat the 3-horse in the Coaching Club American Oaks. $500,000 on the line. Race 11, 6:17 post time. Torpedo Anna. I never give out a 1-2 favorite, so I'm going to pass that race. Not much to choose from in the field of 5. Monmouth Park, interesting races going on. Race 12, 5:45, $1 million on the line. The 1-horse and 7-horse, 1 horses, Dornock, Mindframe the favorite with Arad, Ortiz, and Pletcher. Pletcher hasn't won the Haskell since 2011 when he won it with Verrazano. The bomb in the Haskell will be the 4-horse with Timberlake. Brad Cox and Flavian Pratt will give it a challenge. My picks in this race are 1, 4, 7. Trifecta box 1, 4, 7. But I am expecting Pletcher to get his first Haskell win since 2011. That's all the time we have here on the Fine Line. For Jordan and Matt and Katie, I'm the Wiz. We thank you for tuning in for this special edition of the Fine Line podcast. And be sure to hit us up on Instagram or Twitter, Joe Wiz Sports. Thanks for tuning in.